Hey everybody, hope you're all doing good. I know it's been a little while, but like I say in my other videos, it's getting quite hard to find cool older hardware anymore. But luckily, on my last trip to go visit my parents, I actually came across this really cool XPS 720 system that was as is and being sold for the very good price of $20. So after a little bit of haggling, I got the machine down to $15, picked it up from a nice guy who left it out on his front step, and brought it home. So when I got it, it was just the XPS 720 case and the motherboard, which unfortunately didn't work. I had to repin a custom power supply and test it, but I had the issue that is very, very prominent with these boards where it turns on, but it doesn't actually post. So try as I might, I couldn't get it going. But anyway, I wanted to keep this system pretty original. So you'll see it running there, and then you'll also see my PowerEdge 6400, 4400, which is in another video on the right. I have this machine underneath my desk, and I actually use it day to day, more or less, in my workshop. So this machine is, I've swapped in an Optiplex 745 board. I've done quite a few little modifications to it, nothing serious. The video actually that I started this channel with was with the same system, not this exact system, but another XPS 720. I have had 3 of them. 2 of them didn't work, including this one. And then the first one I actually had, it did work, and I believe I sold it. I can't remember what I did with it. I think I sold it. I don't even remember. Or maybe I got rid of the board. I don't even know. But anyway, I got one of these here now, Optiplex 745 board in it. You will see this case is gigantic. I have a normal 3.5 hard drive on the side there. Just for comparison, this thing is massive. If you've ever seen the Precision 690 or T7500, this case is actually very, very similar to that case. Now, there is some confusion with this case as well. In my first video ever, there's some conflicting information in there. This is a BTX chassis, so the only other board you can put into this is BTX. You cannot get a T35 board or a Precision 7500 board or a 690 board or any sort of those boards. They will not fit. You have to have a BTX board, which basically limits you to other Dell. Like I have a 745, I had a Dimension 3100 board that also fit in here, even though it's garbage. I believe there was a few Lenovo systems that were BTX, and I believe there were a few Hitachi. I think that's what they are. Few used to Siemens that are the more higher end ones you can get, I say, and I believe those can support first or second gen. What do you call those? i-series, I guess, i5, whatever they are, not i5, i7, I believe. Actually, I believe it's only first gen i7, maybe 860, 870 you can put in those boards. I don't have one, so I don't know. I don't really like that series of stuff either. But anyway, here's the system here. I'm going to pop it open for you guys. I'm going to show you, again, this I believe is the, I know after lots of substantial research that this is the oldest Xeon processor we can have running Windows 11. And I'm going to show you guys. I'm going to show you inside. I'm going to show you what I've done. I've done quite a few little mods and stuff to it. And we're going to take a look inside, and then I'm going to show you, I have this machine dual booting Windows 11 and Windows 7, and we're going to compare the performance. I'll show you a little bit more in depth of it, and you can look for yourself. Now, this system is very, very, very cool looking. In my opinion, it is the coolest looking system next to the Blackbird 002, which, spoiler alert, I actually have one of those too. But you know what, I'm going to show you that in a second here too. So it's actually on my bench, but I might do a video on that one as well. But anyway, those 2 cases I believe are the coolest OEM cases ever made. Back in the day when OEMs used to make these just absolutely insane computers that were majorly overkill. I mean, Dell still makes the XPS. Not a big fan. It's kind of just a normal desktop now. I had recently a newer XPS laptop that didn't work. Not really very impressed with it, honestly. I actually took the the M2 SSD and put it in my own computer, which is quite good. But yeah, nothing like the heyday of these crazy machines. I mean, this Dell, I believe, costs $4,000 when it was new, so it's pretty cool. But anyway, not to go over again, I'm going to pop this machine open. We'll take a look inside, and then I will run some Windows for you, and we can see how it runs. Alright, so now we've got the XPS opened here. You will see, most importantly, what the OS is running on, which is this 128 gig Samsung mSATA adapter in a SATA, I guess you would say, adapter card slot kind of thing. So that's a 128 gig SSD. We have, also for storage, we have a 2 terabyte hard drive there. It is a Hitachi, I believe, server grade drive, 7200 RPM. Very nice drive. And then we also have underneath a Western Digital 640 gig blue drive in there as well, just for a little bit of extra storage. Now, my main gripe with this system is that you can't actually change which boot order drive you want. You only can choose hard drive as a boot option. So we have to have our hard drive 0 set plugged in for the drive we want to boot from, which in this case is obviously the SSD. So that's the storage on this. We've got the SSD, our DVD burner, 2 terabyte and a 640. For power, we're using the Optiplex's 305 watt original power supply. I did have to use a power supply cable extender, which you'll see down here. That makes it so we have enough length to actually plug into the board here. Now, of course, you will see that this is actually the Optiplex 745 motherboard in here. It is not the XPS board. Unfortunately, the XPS 720 original motherboard was not working. Now, I have had a couple of these machines, and unfortunately, 2 out of 3 of them did not work. So it seems to be a pretty common issue with these, that they just die. So keep that in concern. If you actually find one of these, the board in it is very likely not going to work. But anyway, you can see with our BTX, I wanted to keep this one all original. I didn't want to cut it all up. My first video that I started this channel with was an XPS that I cut and then swapped in a T3500 rear end panel here and changed it all around. I said I was autistic in that video. I'm not actually autistic, at least I don't think so. And anyway, this one I wanted to keep pretty original. So I swapped in the Optiplex 745 board. We have a GT, I believe that's a 730 or a 760. I think it's an EVGA 730 video card, which is nice. You will see actually in here, if you can see in the video, this card is actually flipped upside down. And with the BTX system, if this was a normal computer case, all our stuff would be facing out this side here where the fan is sucking in. But with the BTX, it's actually reversed. So our cards sit facing upwards and our exit IO shield panel and everything faces that way to the right instead of to the left, depending on how you look at it. But yeah, everything's kind of reversed. With the BTX system, the cooler actually has 2 holes in the board. So this cooler fits in with a kind of a C, and then it clamps in, and then we have 2 screws at the top and bottom there that hold it together. So I was able to reuse the XPS cooler. The whole board just went right in here, fit right in, USB plugged in. I have a little chipset cooler on there as well. I have the speaker. And then as far as the temperature sensor, we do have an issue with the temperature sensor on these boards. Now we can swap the whole cable over. The XPS and other Dells of this era have a ribbon cable. I believe it is 20 pins, maybe 24 pins, 22, something like that. It's a big fat ribbon cable. You can see it kind of here. Now that cable will go right in. All our lights on the front of the system work. However, an issue that we have is the temperature sensor. So there is a workaround for this. If you can look here, I don't know if you can see this in the video, but if you look here, you will see there is a little temperature sensor. Now that is actually a Lenovo part number system, what do you call it there? Like a system, a Lenovo workstation system temperature sensor that we can actually cut and put onto the ribbon cable. Now you have to find the ribbon cable for pinout for your Dell system. When you find those 2 wires, you can actually put that sensor on there and it will bypass the sensor air, because if you don't do that, you'll have to press F1 at every boot, and then your system fan, whatever fan you have plugged into the actual system, not Molex obviously, will run at full tilt. So really not fun. But apart from that, that works great. You will see also in here all the light that is probably affecting my video. We have a USB LED strip put in, which is really nice because that actually hooks up with the front of the XPS's lights on the front panel there. So what I did with this is I just actually wired in wires from the XPS LED panel, which you will see here. I just tucked those with a little bit of black electrical tape, a Gorilla tape, whatever you want to call it, to kind of hide it. I didn't want you to see it from the front, all those crazy colored wires. So with that, I actually just extended wires onto the USB strip and plugged it in with the USB. That's how it connects. And we can change our colors with the remote. You can see how well it works there. And this is actually a sound reactive LED strip, which works really well with sound. The only gripe I have with this is that when the computer's off, it doesn't remember, like right now I have it set to white, but if you say it's, green or orange or something, it doesn't remember this setting. So when it turns on, it defaults to this really flashy, fast color flashing. Not really a big fan of it, honestly, but it works good and it looks good and it works with the lights. So that's important. That's about it. As far as RAM, we are running I thought those were 2 gigabyte Kingston HyperX sticks, but unfortunately, because the way Kingston names their RAM, they are actually two gig sticks and 2 1 gig sticks. So we have 6 gigs of DDR2 1066 in there, running at 800, nice and fast. So that's about it for the system. The last thing I want to cover on this is the processor. So inside of here is a very strange processor. Now, usually these systems, the original XPS 720 would have came with a, ooh, you got me on that. I believe a Q6600 or Q6600 was the max. That is conveniently the same processor max supported on the Optiplex. 745 is a Q66 as well. Now, in here we don't quite have that. So inside of this we have a Xeon 5050 processor, which is a 2-core, 4-thread processor based on the Pentium D. Now, something weird about this processor, when I get the machine booted here and show you the Windows screen, you will see that this processor actually runs at 667 megahertz frontside bus. Now, this system does not support that because that is a server processor. It is actually OEM, and I got those from a Dell Precision 690. I had to BSEL mod the pins on that to run it at 800 frontside bus, which actually works in this system, and it goes from 3 gigahertz to 3.6 gigahertz, and it works, and it's stable. You'll see in a second here, it's pretty interesting. And I wanted to use that processor because I actually have a world record overclocking it. It is a very, very, very good silicon lottery chip, so it hauls ass pretty good, I have to say. It's for a machine that's 20 years old. Now, I'll put that in the title of this video. I believe this is actually the oldest Xeon series of processors that you can have running Windows 11. Now, spoiler alert, it works really well, but it is the oldest Xeon CPU you can have. It's basically equivalent to Pentium D, I believe, 960. I'll show that here in a second, but it's good, especially with the SSD. This machine runs really well. So I'm going to stop my video here. I'm going to do some Windows loading and stuff, and you can see just how good this machine actually runs. All right, so we are back. I'm going to fire up the 720 now, and you'll see just how quick this machine is. So right now it's currently off. Just press the power button. You'll see how fast we do post on that. You'll see the Optiplex 745 thing at the bottom there, the little identifier, I guess you'd say. Booting on my Psyche Mr. Fancy Pants free screen that I got here. So you can see we got the dual boot. I will choose, you know what, let's do Windows 11 first. And you'll see how quick this machine goes. So like I say, you got the stopwatch going. But it's, like I say, it's pretty quick. Don't forget, we are booting off the little SSD there, which this SSD isn't exactly a speed demon either, but it's pretty good. I'm not complaining about the performance of it. It works pretty good. Even obviously not as fast as, you know, 12900 i7 or whatever craziness people are running. You know, I don't even know what the new processors are nowadays, but this thing is pretty quick. So when we get booted in here, I'm going to show you the CPU-Z for this system. We'll take a look at the actual system specs first, and then we're going to go on the internet. We're going to try to watch some YouTube, and we'll also see if I can buy a something on eBay with this as well, just to see, you know, as far as the usability for it. Maybe we'll go on CNET or something, check out a you know, computer article or something cool like that as well. So you'll see, there we go. Now we're on the Windows 11 desktop. That was pretty quick, not complaining. So let's go to system here. Hopefully I'm not actually getting my face or everything in the video. We'll open the Windows system information first. Also wanted to add that my tripod is on top of a server, on top of a chair, and it's about 1 millimeter from falling to its doom. So hopefully this video goes okay. But you'll see here, this is the Windows system screen, about as useful as a bag of hammers. But you'll see in here, it doesn't even have a name. It's just Xeon CPU, 3 gigahertz, 3 megahertz, whatever, 2-core, 4 logical processors. And that was basically useless. I don't even really know why I opened that. But let's open up CPU-Z just to show you that I'm not faking, because, you know, this day and age, everything is kind of fake. I don't know why that didn't. Oh, there we go. I do find the performance on this Windows 11 to be very, very interesting. Some things are really quick and efficient, and then some stuff, like my own machine is dual 16-core Xeon E5 V4, but I will have the Windows desktop crash just trying to like transfer files. It's really, really stupid. I don't know why it is, but it's, I don't know. I dual boot Windows 7 because I don't really like this too much, but it does work good. So I don't want to I downloaded this 1 day ago. How's there an update? No, don't enough. Goodbye. So here you will see the processor screen here. So you'll see we're Xeon DP 5050. We get the 1366 Xeon sticker, which isn't really right. Dempsey is our code name. 771. This is a 771 to 775 modded CPU. That's where you have to cut the tabs out of the CPU and you turn your CPU sideways to fit in the socket. Very, very nice. We are 3 gigahertz, but you'll see here our core speed is actually 3.6 because we are running at our 800 front side bus. You'll see here 200 and then times 4, we're quad pumped 800. And you'll see our multiplier bouncing around there as well from 12 to 18. So pretty interesting. One last thing on here, again, 2 core, 4 thread, but we have our cache, so we have 2 times 2 meg of our L2 cache because it is actually 2 Pentium, whatever you want to call it, NetBurst based Pentium 4. This is basically a dual 2 Pentium 4s that they shoved together on this die. It's basically a Pentium D960. I'll show you that in a second. You'll see here our information for our Dell motherboard, Q965 chipset. Here's our 6 gigs of DDR2. I do not know any information about that. Oh, here we go. Just kidding. There's our Kingston. You'll see the speed that we're running at, 400 or 800 megahertz. It is 1066 RAM. I believe that's overclocked. We can't overclock on this board. Not well, anyway. I'm not doing throttle stop or whatever you call it. Those do not really work well. So, and then here's our video as well. We have the GT730 plugged in. Again, a nice little card. It works good. We can't really use a high-powered video card on this system, so we have to go with something like this. I'm not complaining. It works good. HDMI, really nice picture. I got it for free. Not complaining. And that's about it for the CPU. See, that's our system in a nutshell. It works pretty good. Let's open performance test, and I'll just show you a couple little things on the performance test as well. We're not going to do a benchmark on this system. It doesn't do very good per se, but I might, you know what? I might run a benchmark on it for you, just so you can see, just to catalog the fearsome performance of this system. But let's here. You know what I'm going to do? Actually, let's open Task Manager because I believe this has a little too many. What happened there? Why did you close? That's not what I wanted to do. What I wanted to do was open this. Yes, open this, and then we can see our activity here on the side. So we're using about 40% of the CPU, about half of the RAM. The SSD is just hanging out. SSD is not doing anything. I do have a Wi-Fi adapter installed in this. Oh, we're actually out of time. I installed this like 3 days ago. I don't really know how it ran out of time. Maybe because I updated the clock. I don't know, whatever. I don't care. This software is kind of really janky, to be honest. But the older version I like, the performance version 9 I like, but this one it's kind of... yeah, not really a big fan of it anyway. But we'll do a CPU mark. I'm gonna keep actually, you know what? Here we'll run a CPU mark on this for now. Let's. I was gonna say we can go on the internet and really stress this thing, but I don't want to reduce the CPU mark on it. We'll just give this a run. You'll see it is using 100%. We'll see how this does. Now this again is the oldest Xeon CPU that we can run Windows 11 on. So I'm not gonna bother with a disk mark or memory mark. Those are all slow. It's DDR2. We're a 730 GT, not even a GTX, like a GT730. It's a desktop card. It's for like home theater systems. It isn't made to run to really, we're not doing much gaming on this machine. It's what I use this for is just basically to open Chrome and check out PDFs if I'm working on something or if there's something I got to look up. I got the nice screen. The system looks cool. Every time somebody comes over, customer or whatnot, they're like, what is that computer? I'm like, that's an XPS 720. And they're like, that's really cool. I'm like, yeah, I think it's a pretty cool looking system. That's why I use it. Like I say, I've had a few of them. I've always kind of liked them, I have to say, but it runs good. Like I say, you'll see the abysmal CPU mark. Now, a Core 2 Quad Q66 will get about 3,000, and this is going to be... Let's take bets on here now. We're betting on the horses. I'm gonna say this gets, because it's not 4 cores and it's not the 65. It is 65 nanometer, but I'm gonna say this is gonna get 500 CPU mark. Let's see how good my my numbers are. We'll take bets on that there because this is pretty old. This is a pretty old system. Here we go. I'm saying 500. I haven't actually ran this before either. I don't even know if it's gonna work. We probably would be able to get through the benchmarks for the video card anyway because the card doesn't support a lot of the newer stuff. And this is Performance Test 11. This is the new one. What's our CPU mark? Come on, give it to me. 860. You know what? Not half bad. 868. We're in 1% percentile. Not that shabby. say what you want, performance test, but I'm about to prove you wrong by going on the internet. So we'll open up a tab here now. Oh, perfect size window, look at that. And you know what, let's go right into it. We're gonna go to YouTube. We're gonna go to YouTube and we're gonna watch some Mr. Beasts because I like Mr. Beast. Our CPU right now is at 100%. We're basically using all of the processor right now. Try searching to get started. All right, I guess you don't recommend stuff for me anymore. Let's do Mr. Beast. Mr. Beast's gonna watch this and be like, oh. 254 million subscribers. Oh, this looks good. This video was only 2 hours ago. Whew. I have to give this a watch. You know, I used to be subscribed to Mr. Beast, but I don't anymore. Oh, here we go. Classic YouTube. We're playing an ad, and you know what? This runs pretty good. The ad is playing fine. This so far is working pretty good. We don't have any issues like my other machines. I mean, we're using Windows 11, so everything's nice and updated. And this is playing perfectly. We're on 360. Let's turn this up a little bit. We're on 360. Let's try to go to 720. We're gonna try to tune up the pump up the volume a little bit here. See how this does. And this is playing perfectly good in 720. Our CPU is basically at full. We're at about 90 to 100% CPU, but this is working pretty good. I'm gonna try to put it on full screen here. A little bit janky. I also don't have ad block on this machine, so we are getting kind of some interference from the ads. Let's try to make this full screen. I think I just press F11. Maybe not. How do you make this full screen? Can I not watch videos in full screen? There we go. Give me a minute. And yeah, this is playing perfectly on Windows 11. There's no stutter. We're in 720 and it's working quite good. You know what? Whoa, come back here. Let's try to move this to 1080p HD. I don't think this is gonna work. We're gonna window this. I don't think this is gonna work well. Yeah, now we're getting a little bit of interruptions here, but this was playing perfectly in 720. Now I know most people now run 4K and all this stuff, yada yada yada. Like I say, we are getting a bit of delay in 1080, but to me, that gets a pass on the YouTube, which is probably the most demanding thing we're gonna do. Now, I'll go over to eBay here now, and we'll take a look at the, just an ad, something to buy, and we'll see how this loads. You know what we're gonna buy? We're gonna upgrade this machine. We're gonna go for a Xeon 5080. Take a look at that. I'm gonna buy one of these, and okay, apparently we're gonna freeze. Oh no, there we go. Oh, what a great price! Only $150. Oh, 130. Wow, these are expensive. These are ES too. Apparently we got a new tab, but this is quick. Like I'm not having any. I mean, a little bit of delay, but it's not like this doesn't work. It's working. Imagine spending $150. This is actually more than usable. I'm actually impressed with how quick this works. Now here, I'll go to the Intel site really quick for you. Oh, here, let me show you this first. So, I'm kind of partial to this chip because this is the exact chip that I have my Xeon overclocking world record. If you go down here, you can actually look this up on the internet for yourself if you don't believe me. 5 gigahertz and change by yours truly, Mr. Me, right there for you. You'll even see pictures of, I have it here, running this exact chip. This is the exact chip that I have in the machine right now. Somehow I didn't blow it up. I was running a 1.7 volts on it. But yeah, we have a validated CPU Z, 5 gigahertz. I beat, which is really funny because there's an overclocker guy. I'm trying to think how I can see of the ranking of this, but I actually beat the overclocker guy. How do I go through this? There's the guy named Tag on here. Here it is. Right here. Who this guy is like really prominent in the overclocking community. And his was 45. Now remember when I was overclocking this, I was just under 45. I was like 43, 44 and change. And then I got to 45 and I'm like, you know what? Let's push this a bit more. And I beat him by 500 megahertz. So this guy, if you know overclocking at all, he's pretty good. And I just came in and was like, hey, guess what? Sorry, I beat you. But yeah, yeah, pretty cool. What I was actually wanted to look up was Intel, oh my god, nice typing. Intel Arc Xeon 5050, just to show you this machine here. Let's see, I've actually looked it up when I got this thing running, because I have been using this a little bit. I just wanted to make a video on it to show everybody. But yeah, you'll see again here, basically what the CPU Z showed us. Dempsey 5050 is the processor name, 65 nanometer, was nice and cheap. I'm trying to remember when this came out. I believe this processor is about 20 years old. You'll see, and most importantly, our 667 megahertz bus, which does not mean this works in a lot of systems. The only things I've had this working in is this system with a Q965 chipset and the P35 gigabyte EP35 board that was in that overclock record. Those are the only two machines I've had this running in. So you'll see here too, our CPU is at 100%. We're using lots of RAM, 75% of the RAM. Our disk is about 70, 80. And it's running good, I have to say. I'm not complaining about this at all. It works good. To me, this gets a pass on Windows 11. So let me just show you one more thing before we go here. How quick this is. I'm going to restart it. And we're going to boot into Windows 7 because this gets a pass for me on Windows 11. I mean, I have been using it on Windows 11 anyway, but what is that? Why can't I restart? That's why I don't like Windows 11. Like, what is this? What is this cloud? Like, why can't I? Well, this app is preventing me from restarting. Why? What is this? Did I open? What even is that? I think that's OneDrive. Did I open OneDrive? I don't even have OneDrive installed on that machine. They give you these programs with Windows 11 that do nothing and just wreck your experience. I don't really get it, but enough ranting. You'll see how quick that machine rebooted. I mean, apart from me slamming reset because of the OneDrive, whatever in there. But we just rebooted and we're booting Windows 7. Now this runs a lot better in Windows 7. I like Windows 7. To me, it's kind of like the next generation XP. And there we are. We're on the desktop. This is also on the internet as well. I'm not going to bother with any of the stuff like I did last time with going on the internet and whatnot. It does work really good. We are using an older version of Chrome. Things are still pretty quick. Like, for instance, we can go to YouTube. We'll take a look on here. We'll watch it. And actually, no, here, we can probably find that Mr. Beast video. And we'll watch it on Windows 7 as well real quick, just to see as far as the performance on it. Yeah, it's right here, Mr. Beast. This room will explode. What a surprise. It listens to us. The government's tracking me. So here, we're currently playing on... look at that. And actually, it did 720 by itself. Windows 7, I did expect to get a bit better performance than 11. But yeah, this is, again, very watchable on this. It works great. There's no stuttering. The audio sounds good. I love his thumbnails. Like, what is this? Works good. Gets a pass to me. Like I say, this machine, this is the oldest. Oh, one more. Oh, there's our processors. One last thing before we go. I'm going to Google this because as of now, it is... The hell is the date? I don't even know. April 27th, 2024. And this processor, I believe, there you go, May 23rd, 2026. So this is a 22, is my math right? No, that's wrong. It's a, oh, Christ's sakes, I don't even know what it is. 2006, and now it's 2024. So you're 18 years old? You can tell math wasn't my strong suit. 2024 minus 2006, is that how we do? 18. This is an 18-year-old processor. So we're pushing 20 years old on this thing, and it's, like I say, it runs really good. Now for fun, let's do Optiplex. I believe it's going to be about the same year, 745 release date. And see how old that system is. Oh wow, I'm surprised. I don't know what it is with Reddit getting everything now. Oh, there you go. 2004 was the release date for the 775. So that's, like I say, this machine, more or less, we're around... There you go. Launching in 2007. There you go. So that actually, it's a little bit newer, I guess. I don't think that was 2007, that machine. Oh, here you go. Yeah, there's a hardware review, 2007. So, like I say, we're pushing... We're close to 20 years old with this machine. It's getting up there, but we just ran Windows 11. We can just still do Windows 7. You can also do 2000 and XP with this machine without any issues, and it works pretty good. To me, it gets a pass. It looks really good, and there we go. Now we're shut off, and my screen's gonna go to standby mode, and to say, that's about it. To me, it gets a pass. That is the oldest Xeon processor we can run on Windows 11, the brand new operating system that apparently you need a 7th gen and newer processor, but I have just proved Microsoft wrong. So that's about it for the video, I think. Hope you guys enjoyed, and we will talk to you soon. Have a great day.